do. Hype! Yeah! That was my hype jam. All right, welcome to Fantasy Sports Addicts Anonymous. My name is Tom. I'm hyped
Hello,
up.
Tom.
I'm a fantasy sports addict. Today I'm joined by our buddies, Andrew from Fantasy Aid 1. How's it going?
Hey, what's up?
And then, of course, James, Cubby Knoll. How's it going?
It's going great.
It's exciting. It's Friday, December 8th. We're talking about Shohei Ohtani. We waited all week. It felt like it was probably 33 years or something. I mean, it was way longer than that. You know, you grew a beard while you were waiting, James. That's the Ohtani watch beard.
It is, man. It's not November. It's for Ohtani.
It's Ohtani-vember. So yes, he has chosen a team to sign with. Now, if you don't know who Shohei Ohtani is, obviously it's a foreign sounding. Who's that? What name is that? Well, obviously you've been living under a baseball rock. But James, would you like to fill us in on the Japanese two-way player Shohei Ohtani?
Yeah, very briefly, run down his little bio, his resume. He's 23. He's about 6'3", 190 pounds. His last full season at the plate, or his most recent, 104 games, 22 home runs, 322 batting average, slugged. So kind of an all-around hitter, a beast of a hitter. And his last full season on the mound was 2016, 20 starts, 1.86 ERA in those 20 starts. 140 innings and 174 strikeouts, which is good for an 11 K per nine rate. A two-way beast in a nutshell.
So, like the next Babe Ruth? What do you think? I mean, are we talking about Babe Ruth 2.0 here? What are we talking about? Andrew, what do you think?
Well, his BABIP was pretty high in the Japanese league. I don't think he's a 300 hitter, but you know, the power is legit.
Okay, well, I just want to start off. I'll just kind of say my piece. Obviously, signing with the Angels. That's the big news today. He signed with the Angels. There are a lot, like, I don't know, at 1.7 teams, I believe, in contention. You know, and then the Haitians came in and they made a beautiful pitch. But yeah, the Angels, they had money, and you know, Seattle was going berserk trying to get money. You know, DePoto got depooped on from Artie Moreno. That's my take on this.
Now he's a former, not to cut you off, he's a former Angel employee, right?
That's correct, front office employee. Okay. I believe there was some sort of bad blood and a storming out. DePoto had, and again, you know, he's front office guy. He's been around for a while, so you know, bad blood storming out. I think there was a little bit of a, I got you back, bitch. But yes, they came in with a beautiful pitch. Hello, look at this. Yes, hello. Yes, that's
Hi, I'm Mike Trout.
And Mike Trout. And I think Mike Trout was just like, hey, Ohtani, you want to play the outfield? And you want to pitch?
I need some help.
Either side. We can move Upton around. Upton can go over here. He can go over here. I'm right here. You can be on either side. Upton can be on there. I'm Mike Trout. I mean, what other sales pitch do you need, right? Like, that's the only thing I can think that makes sense as to why you would choose the Angels over the Dodgers, the Mariners, hell, even the Padres. Now, I got to say this. I'm rocking my D-backs. I got my D-backs. Because today is a glorious day for me as a D-backs fan. It means the window hasn't completely slammed shut on our fingers. The worst thing that could have happened to me as a D-backs fan in the NL West is if he had signed with the Dodgers or the Giants. So I'm just going to little sigh of relief.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
And yes, the window hasn't slammed shut on our, like, meager options here. So we'll take that. And that's my excitement. And again, Mike Trout, I love that. I think that's the sales pitch. That's all I've got to say. Artie Moreno, fuck DePoto, and fucked it right out the window. And Trout was like, hey, I'm Mike Trout. And that's the only sales pitch you need because it's Mike Trout. I mean, what do you think? I mean, James, what are your thoughts here with this?
Well, there was always rumored that the West Coast was his preference, so not shocking. He's on the West Coast.
Well, he can travel, travel back and forth.
Yeah, and I think all three of us, you know, and a lot of other people had the Mariners as the favorite. Thought it was, you know, the best cultural fit. I mean, if you're going to pick a Japanese city in America, that would probably be number one on your list.
That'd be one of them, yes, for sure.
I don't know, Andrew. How are you? How surprised or not surprised were you by the Angels?
I was pretty shocked. I had, like you said, the Mariners down like almost 100%. You know, they traded for them all that money. They had history with Japanese pitchers in the past, plus Ichiro in the past. You know, what it does is it makes that division really interesting. You know, it's not just the Astros anymore. You've got, with all the trades Seattle's made with their lineup, and now the Angels getting Kevin Maton and Ohtani, you know, it's suddenly the Astros aren't guaranteed the division.
Nope.
Well, they're not guaranteed to win it by a mile, I'd say.
Yeah. That's
the gap.
Actually nice.
The gap's starting to close a little bit.
Well, and all of a sudden, like, the Angels went from this, like, really abysmal, like, Mike Trout's situation really sucks. But they've managed.
Well,
they've managed to, like, and with the Pujols contract being as prohibitive as it is, now all of a sudden you get this budget Ohtani signing, and it's like, wait a minute, the Angels just kind of pulled off some magic here. Like, that's kind of right. I mean, that's a little bit of magic, a little Artie Moreno magic.
I mean, if you want to count Ohtani, like, now they don't have like a dirt farm system anymore. Like, they have a couple pieces where you're like, all right, you know, Kevin Maton or whatever, and Ohtani, all right, you know, got a little
all of a sudden, all of a sudden things are looking up in Anaheim land. Now let me.
It's not looking as bleak.
I want to throw one more thing out here, just because, you know, you guys are East Coast. I live on the West Coast, not, you know, coast, but Arizona, obviously. So I've traveled to California. I've seen most of the AL West and NL West parks. Anaheim, as a fan, and I'm sorry to any Angels fans out there, like, at least the parking flow getting in and out of the stadium is way better than Dodgers games and stuff. But, like, it's Anaheim. And Anaheim, maybe I don't know because I'm not from there, but to me, it was like a bunch of freeways converging on a bunch of parking lots and gas stations and shitty hotels in Disneyland. And everywhere else was just parking lots for Disneyland, you know? Yeah. And, like, I don't know, like, who wants to go to that stadium? I mean, as a fan, as a player, I would, like, culturally, like you said, there's so many cities I think I would have rather played in if I were coming from, but that's just my logic. I can't apply logic to something that, I mean, who knows what they say. They say his agent, right? His agent came out and said that the Angels' pitch was basically the best for his development. And I think that means, let's talk about fantasy implications here. You guys, I know, you know, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. We'll talk about that too. But fantasy implications here, I think this means fantasy will change. We've heard about it now. We're talking two-way players that are going to contribute in pitching and offense. And if he really is this development, best chance for his development means, to me, he's playing the outfield. And almost damn near every day, maybe not immediately. Would you care to, Andrew, what do you think? Am I just on the Kool-Aid here? You love his power.
Well, yeah. The issue is, you know, we talked about how the Angels had a pretty barren system before, but they have a lot of outfielders in their system. Not a ton, but a lot of guys that can play. Jahami Jones, Brendan Marsh, and well, those guys are a little ways off. Where are you going to play them when you got Trout, Upton, and then suddenly Ohtani? You know, I don't see Ohtani getting a ton of at-bats.
See, that sounds like a good problem to have. I mean, you got a star. You got your star. If he can actually play, I mean, you shuffle him around, right? You trade your prospects for pieces you need.
I will say, if fantasy landscape changes and he contributes in hitting and pitching, he will be overdrafted a ton this year.
Oh yeah, he'll go top 30 if that happens.
Well, that's what I want. Okay, all right. We've already talked about where he might go in a draft, or like what he might look like. I mean, this is a legitimate question. Okay, like, I didn't even think about pre-draft rankings here. We just talked about where you're drafting him, assuming he's pitching only. You know, we talked about like in your 16-team dynasty league, I drafted him like 60th overall.
60th overall, and Fantrax recently had the 2018 ADPs, which of course doesn't count for dynasty, and the ADP was right around 60.
Okay, so we're talking 5th plus round, I guess, roughly.
And that's assuming a one-sided player.
Right. That's assuming he pitches. Now, I don't know what the comparison is in any other sport. I mean, the only thing I can think about is like basketball, where you have one of these players that just contributes literally entirely across the boards. And again, it's not even comparing the same thing. So if you factor in the fact that you would get even any hitting stats, really, plus the pitching, assuming he's good at either or both, that really is. I mean, we're talking.
People reach for the sky for him if that's the case.
But
I mean, are we talking first round, or what are we talking about here?
No, I would no. There's too many good players out there. My thinking though is it's just going to be so hard to implement. I mean, are you going to have two Ohtani players, one that's a hitter and one that's a pitcher? Like,
yeah.
How do you implement that? And if that happens, if there's two of them, can one guy have the hitter and one guy have the pitcher? You know, he
gets drafted twice. You can draft Ohtani.
Or will they just label him SP/outfield instead of, because there's SP/RPs. Is that hard technology-wise to just label him SP/outfield and pop them in and out?
Well, all right. Then now that's the other question. So if he's starting, do you have him in your pitching queue or do you have him in your outfield? Like, which portion is he? Like, are you collecting stats?
Or maybe just have like a one universal slot, and all his stats count out of that slot. I don't know.
It's the O slot. It's literally the Ohtani slot. This is changing fantasy here.
The Uber utility slot. I don't know.
I mean, I still say
they got to figure something out, because if he gets, even like I mentioned before, like 300 at bats, that is more than worthy of having to count those. I mean, come on, it's not like some schmuck pitcher getting like 50 ABs. Like they need to make it to where he can count both if he's gonna. Well, that would be such a waste to see him get 200, 300 at bats and them not count.
Well, Andrew, in your case, especially, or like say JD Baller's case, when you're in these super deep leagues, right, where you got like 20, 30 teams, you absolutely would have to count those 300 at bats, or you know what I mean? Like that's a meaningful player. Or like in an AL only league, I mean, if he's getting 300 bats in an AL only league, something's got to be done. I don't know if it happens this season. I mean, we've got however many fantasy platforms. What are they going to do? Recode everything?
I'm sure every fantasy site has had multiple meetings already about it, trying to figure out what to do.
It's going to be nuts. I mean, this is going to change fantasy baseball. I hope, I think, and I'd love to see more of it. I mean, we talk about two-way players that are coming through college. There's a guy that just came through college. He's in the Rays system. I mean, I hope this is the wave of the future. That'd be cool. I mean, I hope this is actually like that awesome. And maybe that, that's me on the Kool-Aid because I drafted him. That's me on the right? I don't know. I got a Kool-Aid rush here. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd like to see
rush.
I like to see like projections start to come out now that he's on a team like Zips and Steamer and all that. I want to see how many ABs they project. I'm just spitballing, if he plays outfield one day, DH is like, let's say he gets.
I think I saw a projection of 264 average with 12 home runs. I don't remember where I saw those projections.
Okay, do you remember the AB projection?
260, somewhere around the 200s.
Okay, so I'm not far off. Just guessing.
Yeah.
Okay. Just for comparison's sake, they're different players, but I would have liked to have seen some of the projections. Ichiro's rookie season. Was he discounted, discredited? Like, well, the bat may not translate. You know what I mean? Just are we sort of like down?
I mean, that's far back, but I remember it was like, God, it was pretty much like, let's see what happens. Like they all knew the speed would translate, but I don't think people were like, oh yeah, he's gonna get 220 hits a year. Oh yeah.
Right.
Like, I remember when he like got rookie of the year in American League MVP. I don't think anyone expected that. So
no, I mean that was incredible. So I mean I'd love to see Ohtani translate on both levels. I mean that's the one disappointing thing about Angels spring training. Just from my perspective, living here in Arizona and Phoenix, like Angels and Giants are two of the like worst fan experiences pre-games, like before the games when it's actually just practice and the players are out there and you're watching them like chew tobacco and like tell golf jokes and like where are we going to eat dinner, But like, you can't really get in there and see at Tempe Diablo. You can't. I mean, you watch them walk by, and there's like a gate, and like maybe Pujols will ignore your kid when he walks by because Pujols is an asshole. And Trout, you never see Trout. I've never seen Trout. Like even his rookie season, I was like Trout. There's no Trout. Like it's like searching for your white whale. I mean, Ohtani's gonna be like cloaked. They're gonna like send him in a cloud or something.
Yeah, he's gonna have like not the stereotype.
There will be press. There will be a lot.
Not the stereotype, but I'm about to. He could be surrounded by like the fucking crazy 88 at all times, like Kill Bill. Just have them all.
Well, it's gonna be the press. It's gonna be Japanese press. I mean, that's always how it is. And I mean, it's gonna be cameras. But see, I still think they're gonna keep it kind of. That's just the shame because I want to get up there, like up close, and like, wow, he's bigger than I thought he was, or he's smaller than I thought he. I don't know. I mean, again, like you get that experience in spring training. Yeah, I mean, so he's sizable guy. I just want to, you want to optics test. You want to be in front.
Right.
That's how I am. I'm always like, that's why I love spring training here and fall league because you get to see it up close.
I mean, I don't know if Andrew, have you heard the plan? Like, would he be in every 5th day or every 6th day?
They don't have the rotation for a 6-day rotation. I would have to think 5th day with the Angels.
Just because they don't have the depth.
Yeah.
I mean, this will be interesting. I wonder how they work him in because obviously he's not ready for a full-time schedule, playing the outfield, full 162 games, and he's not ready for a full 200+ innings.
No.
So
if he's going to get 200-ish at bats like Andrew was mentioning, then I would have to say the starts would be in the neighborhood of 20 to 25 at most.
This would be my logic.
I don't think he touches 30.
Well, that's what if they're in the playoff conversation though? And he's dominating, can you just shut down a guy like that? I mean,
we've seen it done before in Washington.
You stretch the guy out. You have him like, you do the 10-day DL thing, a little trip to.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure the game's gotten craftier about stretching out guys with arms. So I mean, that's why I still think it makes the most sense this year to have no changes necessarily for these fantasy sites and just leave him as a pitcher. That seems to be.
That would be the easy way.
And see what happens.
Yeah, like because this is so new. I mean, there was no. I mean, you could go back in time. I mean, you could go back and play fantasy with like old stats from Babe Ruth, but there's not been a modern equivalent in any capacity. So it really. I mean, I'm just excited that this is crazy. Let's.
Now we'd be.
Hi, all over the place.
I was gonna say we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about his arsenal. No, maybe you or Andrew could answer this, but I know the guy's hit over 100, but what else does he feature?
Mostly I've heard about the fastball that's compared to Severino's. So the sinking.
Andrew, do you know anything about his off speed?
I mean, I know he has a wicked slider. Most Japanese pitchers kind of do anyway have those wicked off-speed pitches.
So he can hit 100 on occasion and just throw a knee buckling slider. All right. I mean, I've seen the videos, but they do it in the kilometers, and I don't feel like translating it.
What's KPH mean? Yeah, what KPH is that like?
Yeah,
I don't know what that means. But, I'm an American.
I mean, he looks nasty on YouTube at least, so I just can't imagine what he looks like live.
Well, again, we're gonna get our first taste this spring. I mean, you can bet I'm going to some Angels games, especially games. Now that's gonna be a riot, man. I mean, that is gonna be tough to get into. Like his first start is. I mean, again, it'll be like a 1-2 inning affair. Maybe that might be the way to go. Is like ease him in somewhere in the middle of the game, just get a couple innings that way. But like. I mean, it's going to be a zoo down there. It's oof. I hope I get to see an Ohtani start.
Right? Have you guys seen the figures, contract or anything yet? I haven't seen it.
No,
I haven't.
I know I don't think that'll be announced yet. I know like the club hasn't even confirmed. I know all the sports writers have confirmed it. His agents confirmed it, but I don't know that the Angels have officially announced anything in that regard. We'll get to that eventually. That'll be out. I know the signing bonus is in the neighborhood of $3.5 million. So there is that, right?
Okay.
That's an international pool money that everybody was shuffling around trying to get enough international money. I mean, again, really, like, I thought for sure the way Seattle was going for that, I mean, I thought for sure they would have been place he ended up. I mean, they acted the hungriest. I mean, but at the end of the day, Hi, I'm Mike Trout, and that's Albert Pujols, and we're Trout and Pujols, and we hit home runs, and woo! And now you can be an angel in the outfield with me. I'm Mike Trout.
I wonder if they, will like have, will come out where he says this was the second team I was gonna go to or the third. I'm curious. I hope he's not he turned down the Cubs. I'll be like, no.
That may come out later through like leaks.
I just don't want to hear that. I'd rather not. I'd rather keep.
He won't announce. That won't come out through him or his people. That'll be something that gets maybe leaked or speculated about. But his people, he won't. That won't come out. I don't think. I mean, why would he say like, well, you were close, but you didn't have Trout? I mean, at the end of it, right?
Well, here's a real quick, I guess, before we close out. Here's a nice tweet by Jason Stark.
Okay.
Pointing out guys in baseball history that have had at least 15 plus games in the field and 15 on the mound.
Okay.
If he does that, 15 and 15 would be just the fifth time since 1900 that's been done. Babe Ruth did it twice, 19 starts 1 year and 57 in the outfield.
Wow.
And then 1919 he did 15 starts and 106 appearances in the outfield. So, and there's two other guys I've never heard of, but yeah, it's pretty rarefied air if he makes at least 15 starts and gets at least 15 plus outfield starts.
That was like 120 years ago.
That was a long fucking time.
That was 120 years ago. Like we are there was no fantasy, there was no Yahoo or ESPN or Fantrax. No. Jesus Christ, this is awesome.
I'm excited. Pretty rare feat if he pulls it off. And it sounds like he should at least hit those two marks.
All right, let's all just no whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Just, you know what? Who cares who has him in Dynasty, or just let's just hope that we get to see something really cool. Like, can we all agree on that as baseball fans? I mean, who cares that he's on the Angels? Who cares what team he's on? Let's just hope that we get to see something really cool. How about that? You know? I mean, we got guys like Jose that are dead now. You know, we lost a lot of guys along the way. I think, right? Just one. I don't know. Whatever. Let's get something cool. Can I get something cool? I gotta get a little more hype. All right, Andrew, you got anything to add? I know I see a lot of Cards gear there, and I think I'm sensing some sad feelings. No Ohtani, no Stanton.
Well, yeah, I mean,
just tears and World Series trophies.
I'm really upset about that. Really upset about that.
You know.
Just tears and World Series trophies to look at.
I thought all along before the San Fran and St. Louis stuff came up that Stanton would go to the Dodgers, and I still think that.
Well, and again, I'm just glad. Look, if Stanton goes to the Dodgers, that hurts the D-backs. Had it been a double whammy with Ohtani and Stanton to either the Giants or the Dodgers, I mean, just close up shop, fold the franchise, move it somewhere else, because D-backs, forget it. The way they've run this team for so long, just forget it. Just shut it down.
We got the winter meetings, Sunday, right? So we should start seeing stuff get rolling.
Yeah, see, there we go. Let's get a little friction. Heated up.
Martinez, Hosmer, Moustakas. I mean, there's still Darvish, Arrieta. There's some quality players that should start flying off the shelves.
Absolutely. And then maybe by the end of it, we'll see if the Marlins have a shell of a team. Maybe.
Now, all right.
Oh my God, how crappy is it to be a Marlins fan going forward? Jesus.
How crappy has it always been to be a Marlins fan?
I'm just saying, but at least in recent seasons, they could point to Gordon's exciting on the base pass. Stanton's a hoss. Jose is Jose,
I don't know how,
but he's dead. Stanton's gonna leave. Gordon's gone.
That just symbolizes everything about the Marlins franchise right there.
It's dead.
I mean, it's just dead. It still exists, but it's dead. Okay, just forget
wrong.
Marlins.
I know that sounds wrong. We've been through that. I mean, rest in peace. But we're talking about the Marlins franchise. It's dead.
It's dead. Kaput. It is no more. It has ceased to be. Speaking of cease to be, we should probably.
I'm laughing at the Marlins, not Jose's death. All right.
Yeah, no, yeah. The Marlins, they're just cursed. They're actually cursed. Jeter, hopefully Jeter can save it. I will say this: if Jeter can just take a little bit back from his Yankees franchise, just be like, come on, guys. Here's a Stanton. If he could just get a little bit.
Give me some Frazier. Give me some Gleyber, some Gaybar, like just get some pieces.
I could see Jeter like working a little magic with the Yankees. So I don't think, like if Stanton really wants to go to the Yankees, I could see that. I'm going to throw that out there. I'd love to see that happen at the winter meetings. That'd be preferable for me, again, NL West fan here. So
it would break my heart.
Oh, now imagine that power combo. You got Stanton and Judge. Like, all right, that's another topic for another day. Let's wrap it up. Should we wind it down? Wrap it up. I got so much Kool-Aid in me. I'm like gonna blow up. It's Ohtani. Woo! 2018. Woo! Right? All right, sorry, overexcited dynasty owner here. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. That's it. All right, James Cubby Knoll. Thank you for joining us on this roundtable discussion. Andrew from Fantasy Aid 1. Thank you for joining me today. Yep. You guys, it's going to be a hell of a baseball season. Get ready for January. Can't wait. We'll get the dynasties fired up. Now, we know Bronson's going to be drafting like 3 Ohtanis in 3 different dynasties. So not a lot of repeat. Well, right, there's three like Ohtani owners right there. Then I've got an Ohtani. I don't know how many dynasty owners are going to have Ohtani. Bronson, you're hogging all the Ohtani. James, you're going to have to make a real special offer, I think.
Oh, boy.
That's going to have to you might have to sell a little bit of your soul, too. I don't know what it's going to cost you.
I'm not getting on my knees, though.
Just short of that, probably. Just short of that. Bronson will hold you hostage. I mean, it'll be like literally a hostage crisis. You'll be like strapped to some like drums of gas, and like there's going to be like a timer and dynamite next to you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. All right.
I'll see y'all next time. It's been real.
Yeah. You guys, thanks for joining me. And again, hopefully if you get a little piece of Ohtani, he's great for your fantasy teams this year. Thanks for joining us and talking about Ohtani. The watch is over. He's going to the Angels. Trout sold it. Woo! Mike Trout. All right. Angels in the outfield. Fantasy gods, please grant me the serenity to set my ideal lineup, courage to add Shohei Ohtani aggressively, and the wisdom, especially for James's sake, to trade for Shohei Ohtani. Woo! And drink some Kool-Aid. All right. FantasySportsAddicts.com is the website. At Fantasy Sports Addicts on Twitter. We'll see you guys next time. Also, please go to the website, FantasySportsAddicts.com. It's back. Woo! See you guys next time.
Bye.
Ohtani! Hype!